Alright, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Monkish Brewing Company, and they're out of Torrance, California, and this is their Pools on Pools. So they're calling this one a double dry hopped double IPA that comes in at 8.7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review, and this can is approximately 4.5 weeks old. I'm going to give a huge thanks shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Sierra Hotel, for this beer. So big thanks to him in the description box. I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And the last Monkish beer that I had from them, the first one of the 4 he sent my way, was the first Monkish beer that I really didn't care for. I gave it 3.7 out of 5. It was called Brainwave Swell, and it just had a very big hop burn. And I'm hoping that this one's way more delicious than that one. And again, I've liked pretty much everything I've had from Monkish except for that one. So I have high hopes for this one. Galaxy, Mosaic, and Centennial hops in this. So I like a little bit of Centennial being thrown in. And yeah, I'm here for it. So let's give it a pour and see what we got going on with this one. So yeah, it has that, you know, that hop milk kind of look. Shout out to a viewer of the channel, Christopher. He called it hop custard, I believe, and I would tend to agree with him. It has like a hop custard kind of look to it, for sure. So yeah, it has that yellow-orange color, milky, custardy look. Can't see through it, murky, turbid, the whole nine. Hold up to the light. Yeah, nothing getting through that. About a finger or just under a finger of a creamy looking head that is off-white, maybe like eggshell, a white colored. In the treehouse glass, I'd say that kind of looks like a treehouse beer, for being honest. Get a nose. Oh, shit. Monkish, you may have redeemed yourself right off the rip. Oh, that smells so fucking good. So, Galaxy, now, I talk about Mosaic a lot of times nowadays where I used to get a lot of blueberry Mosaic. Then over time, it kind of turned into just like a generic like red berry. And I don't really get blueberry as much out of Mosaic. Galaxy, shout out to a very good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber Kyle over at No High Beer Reviews. He, recently I saw him talking about Galaxy and saying that, like, you know, I used to have that pineapple, that crushed pineapple, sweeter pineapple, and he doesn't see it as much anymore. And he's right. With Galaxy, I'm not getting a ton of pineapple. If I do, it's just like, oh yeah, it smells like pineapple. It doesn't smell like that crushed, sweet, juicy pineapple. This, oh, it smells like sweet, juicy, crushed pineapple. Oh, there's passion fruit. There's honeydew melon. What is that? Papaya? I haven't said papaya in a hot minute. But I think what the Centennial is bringing is I'm getting like this slight like pine or like sappy kind of nose to it. Like an earthy sap. It also has like an orange juice, kind of like just a citrus juice, maybe a grapefruit juice kind of nose to it. It smells juicy as well. 8.7%. It's a big boy. It's a big double IPA. The Mosaic isn't bringing that blueberry I was talking about, or even a berry in general. This is pineapple. This is papaya. Lots of juicy citrus qualities. Passion fruit. Man, smells fucking dynamite. 4.5 weeks old. Hopefully it doesn't have the hop burn, because that last one I had was 5 weeks old, and the hop burn, like, by the time I finished that glass, my throat was on fire for like a half an hour. It was ridiculous. Hopefully that's not the case here. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Sierra Hotel. Yeah, that beer is really tasty. There is a little bit of hop burn, but very, very minute, a smidge. Man, I'm telling you that juicy, sweet pineapple is the first thing that hits my palate, and it saturates it. Oh, man. Buying this one at 8.7%, it's a bit thin. This is like medium, maybe a touch over medium, almost 9%. It's a bit thin. Do I care? Not really, but just letting you know, it's a bit thin. The mouthfeel also, I've talked about Monkish and how like their mouthfeels are fantastic. This one is a little bit more spritzy. It's a little bit more, like it dances on the tongue a little bit. It's a little bit more effervescent. It's not over the top or anything, but this is more approaching like a moderately carbonated beer. Pretty smooth on the palate, slight creaminess, but not upper echelon from Monkish, but still pretty good. So body's a bit thin, mouthfeel is not as spectacular as Monkish, usually hits the nail on the head, but this is a very delicious beer. Forefront, pineapple, omnipresent, crushed, sweet, everywhere. It's a juicy orange and like pink grapefruit, maybe a little bit of that Tangelo I like to talk about, tangerine. There's a lot of juicy citrus notes at the front. As it continues on through, there's also this underlying like slight malt character that's more of like a little bit of like a crackery kind of malt character. About a third of the way to 2/3 of the way through the palate, the tropical fruit starts to come in along with that pineapple that's there. It's papaya. It's sweet over-ripened papaya. It's sweeter passion fruit, so not like a real tart passion fruit, a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit of like a little bit of a kiwi. Something different that I wouldn't necessarily say. Maybe a star fruit, which I've never had before. And it was funny. I reviewed a Hop Butcher beer, and I went on this whole long rant and spiel about how like I know what dragon fruit tastes like, and I meant to say prickly pear, and I said dragon fruit, and I'm like, oh, dragon fruit. It has these little edible seeds that like kind of piss me off because even though they're edible, it's kind of like I'd rather just juice the prickly pear. But I kept saying dragon fruit. This doesn't have a prickly pear. I just maybe it has a dragon fruit, maybe, but it's not prickly pear. Prickly pear kind of came off as like watermelon meets bubblegum. It was such a weird fruit. It was really good, but I hated those edible seeds. But anyway, I called it a dragon fruit because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Maybe a touch of guava in here too. Like very tropical. Like again, that fucking pineapple's leading the way. On the finish, this finish is really dry, very mild bitterness. The one thing I like about Monkish, it was a lot of their beers, I say East Coast meets West because a lot of them are moderately bitter. This is full on dry, but doesn't have a big bitterness. As long as there's a dryness or a bitterness to kind of combat that fruity sweetness, I'm always happy with hazies. And this has that substantial dryness. It also has a slight piney, like pine sap kind of finish that's a little bit earthy, a little bit floral. It's not overly done, but I feel like that Centennial is just giving that kiss, that chef's kiss on the end of the palate. That's just really good. This is way better than Brainwave Swell. That pineapple, I'm pretty sure the Galaxy's bringing that to the table. 8.7%, there is a warming into the chest, into the stomach, nothing on the palate, no astringency. And that hot burn is very mild on the back of the palate. Nothing in the throat right now, but just like a little bit of like a green, grassy, astringent kind of note, but very small, like 2%, It's really good. Is it amazing? It's not amazing, but it's miles better than that Brainwave Swell. So pools on pools from Monkish. I have absolutely no issues giving this a high 4.25. I'm going to go 4.3 out of 5. This is quite tasty, my friends. I really like that Galaxy Mosaic Centennial hop combo. I can pretty much taste the Galaxy along with the Centennial. Mosaic's getting lost a little bit. Maybe it's doing something that I'm not recognizing. But at the end of the day, I just love that I'm getting pineapple in this, and I get that Centennial, like, again, pine sap kind of like floral sensation. It's really nice. Price point availability on their website, $22 for 4-pack, kind of the going rate for a Monkish beer. It's 8.7%. It's double dry hopped. I'm fine with it. California's expensive, so that's not too bad because, other half's not far off price-wise here in New York with that stuff. And availability is Monkish. You can get it at the brewery. You can order their stuff online if it's available and have it shipped throughout California. They see some distro outside of the state, but it's, hit and miss, and it's not all readily available. Let's just say that here in Buffalo, New York, we don't get it. So huge thanks to Sierra Hotel, as I said, Sierra Nevada. Huge shout out to Sierra Nevada for a Monkish beer. Now, huge shout out to Sierra Hotel for this beer. He hooked me up with so many awesome Monkish and Green Sheik beers to try, along with the Russian River and 6 beers from Augustiner Brau. And yeah, I can't thank them enough. This was the second Monkish beer, and certainly way better than the first. And I'm happy about that. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Huge thanks to Sierra Hotel for this one. I'm going to go drink the rest of this and enjoy every second to the next one. Cheers.